Hey everyone, it's Mace1370. The RTA season just ended. They passed out the rewards, so we got the awesome new frame. I was able to finish Legend, I think, around rank 85 or so. It was quite the push. This time I recorded every single match. Starting yesterday, I was around the cutoff for Legend and I just pushed a ton. So I'm going to show all of those games from start to finish for you guys so you can see what the climb was like. It's so many matches though that it's going to have to be over, a multi-part series. This will be the first of probably about 4 parts or so. And in addition to that, I will also be releasing an account review video showing all of the stats for the units I used on the push. Before I get into it though, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Also, see the video description below for a link to my Discord, and let's look at some RTA matches. Okay, so here's the first game. I think my pre-bans stayed relatively the same throughout the couple days leading up to the end of the season, with a few exceptions of like target banning people if I knew they did a certain thing, and I had a hard time answering that specific thing. Then you could just pre-ban it out if you're okay, letting whatever out of the cage, as it were. So when I'm first pick, I would generally pre-ban Bellion and AOL, and that would leave Celilius up if the opponent wanted to give it to me. If I'm second pick, I would generally pre-ban Celilius and Bellion. I just found that against a good player, playing into Celilius was really hard. I think the ways that people played into Celilius were generally either go over the top with speed and cleave it, which is hard for my account to do because I think I lack the really fast speed DPS gear that some of the other people in Legend have. Another way that they could handle the Celilius first pick was to play super tanky, with counter units and stuff like that. And my account's not really built up to play that way because I'm not a super big Banshee gamer. So for me, it's easier just to pre-ban out that Lilius when I'm second pick and not have to deal with it. Here the opponent has pre-banned FCC and Huayang. They take a Ravi first. So I think DN AOL is okay into this. There's so many ways that you can respond to things that you can be afraid of getting cleaved in almost every scenario right now, and I think you just kind of have to throw up your hands and say, okay, I'm just going to do this, and if I get cleaved, I get cleaved. DN AOL is kind of weak to Politis cleave, and he has pre-banned FCC, but I just go with it. The Huayang ban kind of like indicates that he's not trying to cleave me, so I felt okay taking DN AOL here. He takes Handguy and Adventure Ras. Adventure Ras, by the way, became a huge all-star in the last couple days with his buff. He's probably the biggest standout of the buffs, honestly. He's really good. So I take Steny and Landy. It's kind of weird taking Landy with AOL, like they have kind of negative synergy with each other, but depending on how you play them, they can actually have positive synergy, especially when you pick them into Handguy. So I've slowed my AOL way down, so she'll be slower than almost every single Handguy on the ladder. This means that if they want to use the Handguy ability to put immunity and attack buff on everyone, my AOL can go after and just strip it all. Alternatively, if they hold it, then it gives me the opportunity of using my skill, and if they want to actually be able to use their skills and cleanse with Handguy, it activates the Landy. So it kind of puts them in a position where they have to basically just not press their buttons, which is nice. It will lower your Landy damage output, which can be okay though if she stays hidden and you're cycling a lot with DN. Also, there are very few safe DPS that you can take on the ladder right now, so oftentimes it's APOC, Huayang, Steny, Landy are the big ones. So you just kind of have to take them because everything else just gets super hard countered or outsped, etc. So he takes Arbiter Vildred, which is kind of interesting. I ban out the Politis because I don't think my team can deal with Politis. It would shut down my DN. I could put buff block on everyone. AOL is going to trigger it, even if I try to, work around it, etc. He can just AoE and then my AOL will trigger and trigger the Politis, so have to get rid of that. So the name of the game here is get rid of the RB, and then we can probably just outvalue his team because solo DPS Apocalypse Ravi is not much of a threat, right? It's so little offensive output, you can really run circles around it. So I think if we can get rid of the RB, then we're good.
Allow me to purify.
He tries to strip AOL. My AOL has ER though, which I think is probably the most effective way to build her when you pair her with DN. It's nice to have DN built quickly and AOL built slowly. It spreads out kind of your speed coverage, so to speak. DN being very fast, you know, you can CR boost your team if you need to get around fast DPS units. AOL built slowly kind of covers you on the other side of the spectrum. You know, if they have like a mid-speed hand guy, you get to go after him and debuff, etc. I know a lot of people were using fast AOLs for a while, but I found when I drafted DN I wanted a slower, you know, more tanky AOL that can really last. Also, anti-crit buff is just so friggin' obnoxious. Especially into Apocalypse Ravi. She has a really hard time dealing with anti-crit, and so it's just giving your team a lot of mitigation and sustain. This is a abnormal Arbiter Vildred who has quite a bit of HP. He also manages to counterattack me and not die, and not get stunned because he's reloaded, and now my Stenny is dead. So this is kind of awkward.
I will guide you through the light.
We did guiding light at least. We can put a barrier up.
I'll take your life.
So the good news is that his team has relatively low damage output. Once we kill this RB, I think we're good to go. This is what I was talking about earlier with the kind of conundrum that it put handguy players in. His ARAS is silenced, so he can't use the skill 2 or the skill 3 on ARAS, right? If he wants to cleanse that away, then my Landy is going to go turbo mode on him, right? And just skill 3 repeatedly. And I don't have to keep using my skill 3 to lock ARAS down. I can just keep skill 1ing with AOL to, you know, apply the silence and prevent him from doing anything. So he skill 3s, but this unlocks Landy.
I'll protect you.
AOL is still providing some value here. She's a meat shield, right, for the stealth DPS units. Also, every so often when he AoEs, I get skill null, so I'm still getting value here. And then, you know, once I get full focus on Landy, I can just strip the buffs away again and start it all over again.
I'm sensing corrupt energy.
Your life ends here. I will open.
So he's going for the revive. Looks like he's going to get it, so I should have made my AOL even tankier. So now he gets the revive. This looks not great. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not enough buffs. I think we just have to risk it. I guess I could potentially burn there to make sure I go back into stealth. Maybe it was better to burn because then I can kill the RB for sure.
If you're scared, run.
But I can soul burn DN now, I suppose. Burning Landy might have been better there.
I will guide you through the light.
I think my thought was that I just wanted to heal and just generate a bunch of stuff with DN because I needed DN to stay alive.
I'll deal with this.
So that Landy could hide behind her in stealth, but then of course Landy doesn't Guiding Light and then gets crit, so lots of awkward interactions here. But now we can at least kill off the RB, and he doesn't Dream Blade, so that's a success.
Please, save us.
I rebuilt my Landy in the last couple weeks. I used to run earlier in the season like a 260 speed damage one that I used kind of in like a cleave setup, and that was working really well for a while, especially into people that would draft Rimuru because you could use your Landy as a bridge in a lot of your cleaves and also pull Rimuru in, which would then put buffs on the entire enemy team, which would let you soul burn and, you know, cleave with Landy as well. People started changing their Rimuru builds to be super high damage, and it would just one-shot your Landy. So I kind of backed off on that. I also found against Diane teams, or DN teams, however you say her name, Landy is really strong, right? And if you have a really squishy one at like 260 speed, there's a decent chance she just gets popped out of stealth and then instantly dies. So I found having some bulk on her was nice, so I slowed her back down to kind of the standard 200 speed, you know, a little bit of bulk and then a bunch of damage build.
I believe This is what the goddess wills.
So now we just have to try our darndest to outcycle this
Power
APOC
to extinguish
before he
the
can get
evil.
revive again,
I will guide you through the light.
which is kind of annoying given the fact
My
that APOC
goddess.
CR boosts whenever you hit him, or hit her.
Leave it to me.
I'm debating if I want to soul burn here. I might just for damage. I think I do for damage, yeah. Because we just need to kill this APOC. I think I'm kind of out of time. And it's pretty late in frenzies, so oh, and yeah, this is Hellcutter APOC, which is super weird. I just noticed that. Okay, so that was kind of an abnormal APOC.
I trust the path laid before us.
Alrighty, next game. Looks like the opponent has pre-banned Hwayoung and Landy, which is super weird. I get first pick, and C. Lilius is on the table, so I take
Let's
it.
advance together.
They take Handguy and DN. So they're looking like they want to play a super kind of bulky, bruisery long game. And it kind of makes sense that they would ban out Hwayoung and Landy, I guess, because they're trying to take these units. You know, Landy would be a pretty strong counter to both of what they've chosen so far.
Play with me.
I'll take Spectre Tenebria and Amelia. I think Amelia is the stronger Soul Weaver to pair with C. Lilius. She's a kind of more offensively oriented version of DN, and the fact that she can CR boost is really helpful because you'll frequently you need a way to bridge in between Lilius and the rest of your team, and Amelia really helps with that. Spectre is one of the, I think, better DPS options here since Bellion is banned out. Sometimes taking a Ravi is okay, but your teams can lack damage if you take a Ravi this early. I've run into that problem a few times. Also, DN has anti-crit, which is super annoying, particularly for a Ravi. I mean, it's annoying for Spectre too, but if they have DN, I oftentimes like taking Handguy early. That's another option because he can strip off the anti-crit. But they already took the Handguy, so basically the big strategies I've seen in terms of how people pre-ban and how they play right now, it kind of falls into one of three categories. You have people like me that are pre-banning Bellion and then some other annoying unit, and then trying to take openers like C. Lilius or Ran or Peyra, stuff like that, and play vaguely aggressive with the ability to kind of flex more aggressive into cleave or slower down depending on what the opponent does. I'd say that's kind of my draft style. Another draft style is what the opponent is doing, which I think is super toxic, and that's where they pre-ban out 2 DPS units and then they take a bunch of tanky stuff. The reason why it's so toxic is because there's like 4 DPS units you can take right now, and if they pre-ban 2 of them, there's like 1 or 2 left, and sometimes they'll first people will ban Hwayoung and Stenny, and then they'll take Handguy, and you're just like, oh my gosh, how on earth do I ever break through this? Because these support units are so strong, but the DPS aren't really there to counterbalance them. So it's pretty annoying. So that's kind of another strategy that people are using in terms of pre-banning. And I said there's a third category. I guess that could just be Turbo Cleave. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, the third category is people that ban openers. So then you see people ban out, like Ran and Silas and stuff like that. Okay, so you can see here I've taken Alencia and Zahhak. This is the only time I've ever drafted Zahhak in RTA. But I've been told he is good into Lionheart Sirmia. So, and I was like, what else do I take? There are no DPS options here for me. Opponent takes Aras, which is a good pick, and then also Fire Charlotte. So we're going to ban out Fire Charlotte. And we're just going to try to ape down this Lionheart Sirmia, I guess. So one of the reasons why Zahhak is strong into Sirmia, probably the reason I guess, is he has an exclusive equipment that gives him resource depletion on his skill 3, so you can get rid of all of her Fury or Frenzy or whatever the resource is that she gathers up. You can see how she starts with some. And this means that normally if you don't strip it away, then the first time something dual attacks and she activates, she'll have her skill 3 available because it costs that resource. And because he can deplete it, it really sets back her cycle in terms of, you know, her ability to do damage. You get a whole nother 1 or 2 cycles around before she can skill 3, and it gives you a lot of time to just kind of beat up on units. What's interesting here, the opponent put Adventurer Ross in the back, and I saw this a lot, and actually I am guilty of the same mistake myself. You know, when a new unit comes out, people do not understand how to use it. You know, they overlook little minor things in the text and whatnot. Adventurer Ross will only give the barrier to somebody if they are in the back. So, and it's also only single target. So I accidentally put Ras in the back myself one time. He actually does give himself a barrier, by the way, if you were wondering. But he won't, you know, give it to the DPS like where Sirmia is. Another mistake I saw people make a few times is they have Adventurer Ross and then they put Spectre Tenebria in the back line, and it's impossible to hit her with single targets. So that's a complete waste, right? You can only hit her with AoE, and AoE does not trigger the barrier. So this probably would have been a very different game if the opponent put Sirmia in the back, but because they didn't, we can just, you know, basically ape it down and kill it. I thought Alencia could be okay here because of, you know, all the buffs from the team. Like literally every hero on this team buffs, so the ability to strip that off I thought could be okay. It worked out.
Show your
I'll take your life.
Okay, here the opponent has taken Apocalypse Ravi first. Ran is pre-banned, which is kind of nice because, you know, one of your concerns with the first pick, APOC, is that they could flex into a cleave draft. So I guess we'd be safe taking DNAOL here. You know, Conqueror is pre-banned. Peyra, now that DGB has been released, is not a super early pick anymore. I think you can still take her in some slots, but
this is what the goddess wills.
you either have to be willing to like flex into a full cleave, like I'm gonna kill you before you take a turn type of draft, or you have to, I think, pick her later when you know you can ban out the DJB, or you know, where the opponent is in a spot where they can't draft him.
I'll do anything for her.
So they take Hand Guy
Not
and
bad.
Spectre. I take Huayong. I think that makes sense. Huayong threatens the Hand Guy and also a Ravi. And I guess there's options here. I could potentially take... I could take Adventure Ras, but then I might be playing solo DPS if they ban the last one. Could take Landy here, potentially, would be another consideration. Little Queen Charlotte, although, you know, they have dark units, is not great because the opponent has Hand Guy. She can just get attacked down. So I guess I take Landy. I didn't want them to take Landy into me. And then we can last pick, you know, probably a tank or something.
Radiant light.
Blocking the enemy's retreat.
Destiny is interesting. That's a pretty good pick into AOL, you know, because she's usually high ER and can cleanse away the debuffs. Also, you know, CR boosts the team. So Destiny is a solid pick here. And then Operator Sigrid's a little spooky, because if she's in Guiding Light, I may not be able to kill her in time.
Should we get started?
And then she just deletes Huayong. So unfortunately I think I have to get rid of OpSig. That's one of the, I guess, bad things about a slower Landy. If you had a 260 Landy there, you could probably outspeed the team and then just boost yourself over. I guess another potential strategy could have been to ban hand guy, and then the opponent doesn't have attack buff.
Never fight a losing battle.
That might have been okay. Because Opsig might struggle to kill Huayong with, you know, no attack buff when you have Aureus. Actually, maybe that was the play.
It is my job to restore balance.
Yeah, I think it should have banned hand guy.
I don't want to
Because now the opponent will have attack buff, and that's a lot of damage with that Spectre. I think I have to just go to kill Destina here.
I'll put it into
Another annoying thing is the opponent has double res, so even if I kill Destina, APOC can potentially bring something back.
warm up a little.
And not having attack buff stinks because they don't land the kill there. It's very close. I guess it's okay though, because we can just kill with S3 from Adventure Wraths
No destiny can stop me.
and get a defense buff.
Step back. Flies. Help.
You want to try me?
That's actually a very high damage Spectre, because my AOL is quite tanky and has defense buff right now.
I will step on you.
It's a lot of damage. Just barely kills.
Sensing corrupt energy. Allow me to purify you.
We do resist on Hua, which is nice.
Requesting approval. And granted. Removing restrictions. Charge!
Are you my next target?
I think we need to try to kill hand guy. Having souls would have been really nice to be able to soul burn this. And I guess we probably would have had that if our AOL didn't die.
I hope you're ready. I'll do anything for her. Go.
Don't tell me what to do.
That's another dual attack,
I'll
probably not
take
great.
your life. Come.
And another dual attack, also not great. Oh, and it splashes into Landy.
To me.
That's bad. Because now our Landy is revealed.
I'll fight you. Here I go. My most powerful strike.
Yeah, that was probably a little bit too much damage with the duels.
Come near me.
I think we would have won if it wasn't for those duels. Yeah, because now Landy lives. Oh, but Aras doesn't.
Your life.
Then Landy does not Guiding Light. So yeah, that's over. Okay, this guy pre-bans AOL and Huayong,
Wish to live.
which means we take Conqueror Lilius.
Are you sure you can handle this?
Immediately taking the Lionheart Sirmia, so this typically means that the opponent's going to try to tank down, and it essentially becomes a race between, you know, your team and the Sirmia. Can you kill her before she activates and gets a turn? So I'm debating here. I take Spectre, and then I think we just go Amelia. One of the adjustments I made was for my damage Spectre, I sped her up a teeny bit to around 209 speed. I also gave her pen set, and I think it was overall a good change. The pen set, compared to the crit set build, gives you a little bit more damage on that initial soul burn, you know, if you're trying to nuke down a target, which I find is really helpful if you can do that. If you can nuke something down and get it off the board, it usually means you're in a winning position, you know, and the rest of the game is kind of on autopilot at that point. Whereas on the crit build, or the crit chance, you know, offset build, I felt I lacked a little bit of that burst damage and I wasn't getting kills. So I think the pen set is kind of the way on Damage Spectre, at least in the meta right now. So he takes Rimuru, and Pillis. So this is another like common. Pillis is another common, you know, anti-Sea Lilius pick. But usually they're trying to go for the long game when they do that, and we're just going to try to blow them up. So we take Landy. I think Landy's a really good DPS here. You know, lots of buffs from the enemy team. Another good one, I guess Strays could be okay, but the anti-crit makes that a little spooky. You know, because he's probably not going in front of DN. You know, if they ban Conquer Lilius. Although, granted, if they're taking Lionheart Sturmia, they usually leave Lilius in, because that's how they're going to activate her. I take APOC. This is kind of, I guess, a little low on damage, but the opponent hasn't taken any damage that really threatens APOC. You know, nothing here can really kill APOC easily. So if I can ape down one target, then my APOC should be able to carry the rest of the match, I think. I also think they're leaving Lilius in, so we can probably provoke the DN and prevent the opponent from using buffs. Not having to deal with that pesky anti-crit is nice. Yeah, so they ban out Spectre. That's interesting. So we get Landy and APOC. Is that going to be enough?
Come, I'll take your life.
Okay, so we get the first turn, but we were expecting to get that. I think being able to provoke this DN will be pretty important.
I'll make you kneel before me.
Okay, we land it, so that's nice. And now we probably boost up... I guess we boost up Landy? I'm thinking I kind of don't want Rimuru to be able to one-shot something. Yeah, so I boost up APOC. I was a little afraid, like, oh, if my Landy goes into stealth, or doesn't go into stealth and she just gets one-shot. Also, this gives buffs to the opponent so that I can get full stacks off of Landy. Yeah, I don't know if that was the best play, to be honest. I'm not sure. I also kind of didn't want to give speed buff to the opponent. That's a dead Amelia.
Full frontal assault. That's an order. My turn now.
Okay, Landy does not Guiding Light. That's not great.
The lady of the swamp has arrived. Away with you.
Your life.
Okay, bulky Landy for the win, though. We can kill DN for sure. Do we kill Rimmer? We might be able to. Actually, we have attack buff and vigor. I should probably just go on the
Your dead comrades
on the Rimmer here.
are waiting for you.
I don't think I was paying attention to his health or artifact or whatever, so he might have been on like proof or something. Okay, we get Amelia back. We can put barriers up. So that's good. We are going to activate Sturmia, but we can probably take out at least Rimuru first. Yeah, so we're going to get to do some serious damage here. So even if our Landy dies, I think she's done the job. And APOC, Celilius, and Rimuru should be able to finish off the rest of these.
The time has come.
Debating who I want to boost. Yeah, I think we just boost Landy to get another turn with her.
Why not surrender?
Oh, and we can actually probably just Soulburn and kill this Sturmia now. See, it's an arms race. This is a very slow Sturmia. Was it base speed, I wonder? I think I'm debating if I kill. Because I don't have attack buff or vigor now. But I think we kill. Yeah, we kill.
I will personally really teach you some
Okay, there's no way
manners.
the Charlotte solos APOC.
Bunch of imbeciles.
Come.
Alright, for this game we're in this scenario where we have first pick, but they've banned out Lilius. Ran is still open. So when Ran is open, I generally like taking APOC
I'll
first.
take your life.
I don't like Ran without APOC. And if they take the Ran, I have the APOC and I can go into anti-cleave mode. So I think it's better to take APOC first generally, at least for my account. They take Para. I just saw this person's name. Ask. That is a lot of C's. They're hovering DN. I don't. I guess it's okay. Yeah, kind of earlier in the season, people were doing like Para plus Amelia, Para plus DN a lot. It's not horrible. I think with DJB it's a little awkward now. Although my DJB might not have been built at this point. I guess I decided to cleave here. We're doing Rand Politis. So we're just getting in there.
I will be the victor.
I think my assumption was, you know, they have DN. That's a lot of nonsense. I don't want to play standard into that. AOL is banned. So I guess I could have tried to do a Landy draft, but I guess I was feeling like cleaving. So they take a Acid and a Speed Imprint. So they have three opener units and a Speed Imprint. So we are officially no longer racing, right? I don't think we're going to win that. So we have to pivot into something else. They have like no AoE, so I think we can take Stenny here, and I think that's good. And then we can take Hand Guy as well, and that's, you know, a little bit of utility.
Ugh, I'm bored.
Another decent option might have been ML Ball, maybe, like, because mine's pretty fast. He probably doesn't get restricted by Para.
Run.
But if that's a really high effectiveness Para, he might. So I think Stenny's good, because they can't really reach Stenny yet. Another option is potentially, if depending on what they pick last, we could ban Para. And then if my Ran gets through, then oh no, I guess they have Acid too. Never mind. I was gonna say, because the Ran probably outspeeds the DN. Even with an imprint. They take BBK. That's interesting. Watcher's kind of scary because it has Sash. I don't like that. It also can potentially one-shot, you know, Hand Guy or APOC and get Skill Null, which is really annoying. And the Sash is going to be really hard to overcome, especially since they have Acid. No, I guess I banned BBK. I'm sitting here talking myself into banning Watcher. I guess this was kind of a 50-50 ban, because BBK threatened Stenny, right? I guess it makes sense to ban BBK because my Ran likely doesn't get a turn anyways.
How incompetent. Tremble with fear. If you wish to die, may you be punished by our grave.
I expected this.
Okay, they activate Politis. She's restricted. Almost one-shots their team.
I believe I will win.
Politis is now down.
Let's advance together.
So they still have to get through APOC and Hand Guy. And their DPS are just kind of like out in the open, even with Para mitigation and then the shield from DN. Okay, I really want to S3 here, but Watcher's coming up, and I think it's a little greedy. I think we can just skill 2 and attack down him, and now he can't kill anything.
Let's end this.
He uses the S3 anyways. It goes on APOC, yeah, it does like no damage
deal
because of the
with
attack
this.
down. And that's game.
I'm telling you, this is an endless nightmare.
Alright, this guy bans Ran,
Obey.
which
if you
means
wish
it's even safer to
live.
take Celilius. You know, one potential response that some people use against a first pick Celilius draft is just cleave it, right? So they go APOC Ran, and then you're kind of in a pickle because Rans are generally faster. I've put like my premium speed gear on Celilius, so she's 309, which means that she can contest like many Rans, like not all of them. Many Rans are like 310 plus, but she can still contest some. So it at least means that like if I get in a speed war, I can take speed imprints and, you know, kind of fight. I'm not down an imprint from the get-go is what I'm saying, right? Like one imprint and I'm ahead, rather than one imprint and I'm even,
I'll
which would
deal
be the
with
case if I
this.
was 300. So they take Amelia Politis. Politis is very annoying. I take APOC here because APOC is generally good into Politis. You know, Politis is a squishy unit that APOC can use to revive something from. And with the first pick Amelia, I kind of want to Pavel cleave him, honestly.
Know your place.
Especially with Politis there. So I just take Steny. It's a book. It can set me up to pick Pavel later on in the draft. The opponent takes Landy, so that's kind of greedy. I feel like I can just fully cleave now.
I'm here for you.
And then there's mitigation. Okay, so the pillow. So they've kind of done the more standard, you know, anti-Celilius tech. I still think Pavel's good. He really threatens the team because he can pop Landy out of stealth. He can kill Amelia. He can do a lot here. And I guess I probably want to take another book. Options would be potentially Carrot. Could be okay. Right, that pops Landy out, could kill her. I think Carrot's not the worst. CDOM is another option, you know, to help kind of CR boost the team. I think I kind of like Carrot here more now. Yeah, I take CDOM. I'm not super experienced with CDOM. I kind of forgot they have Politis. That's annoying. Because you can't use this, the S3, right, with Politis. So I guess ideally I ban Politis. Let's see what they take last. Something like Acid could be threatening. They take Acid, they ban APOC. I guess they're taking the Carrot. Alright, they take Carrot. I think I have to ban Politis. We might just leave the Carrot in. So let's see. This way, if they ban Pavel, which I assume they're banning Pavel, we can control Amelia with Celilius. If they ban Celilius, I get Pavel, and then I get to blow up Amelia. So I think we're covered for the beginning. And we have lots of damage. I guess if they ban Pavel, then we don't have reach for Landy. We have Celilius, though. They can expose her. So yeah, I think we're covered here. I guess we could get Carrot soloed if we can't kill Carrot in time. But we can boost up CDOM and probably just kill Carrot.
Despair.
Give all that you have for the glory of Harlan!
Feel my sword.
no provoke on, or no attack down on Amelia. One of the things I like about Sea Lilies is you get that first skill 3 to kind of test the ER on things. And the fact that Amelia resisted there means I probably won't get the pushback, so we can just CC Carrot, I suppose. And now we can just kill Amelia because she put all of her gear score into effect resistance. Oh, that is a squishy landy.
Track and kill.
Okay, Amelia down, and next game.
Neutralized.
So excited!
Alright, here the opponent has first pick. He takes APOC, which can be a little spooky for Cleave, right? But he's banning Huayang and Sealalia, so those aren't like the typical Cleaver pre-bans. I think to a degree you kind of have to read into these things to see, you know, like what your opponent might be doing. It does bite you sometimes, though, if you try to assume, just based off that. Let's see, AOL is pre-banned out. I did that, so DN is probably okay. And we don't have to take the AOL now because it's gone.
This is what the goddess wills.
We can just take Stenny because yeah, Bellion's pre-banned. I think Stenny's okay.
You want to try me?
I'm gonna take the lifesteal one here. It's a little bulkier. This will, you know, help if the opponent tries to push for a long game or something. Which with a Huayang ban, they might be trying to do that.
I'm sensing corrupt energy.
There's the hand guy.
You do not understand.
And everybody's favorite friend, Politis. So Politis is tricky because you really don't want to press your DN buttons turn 1. Amelia's a little bit different, especially if you have something like a Sea Lilius going in front. Then Politis feels a little less threatening because you can proc her with Sea Lilius and either taunt her, or if you're not able to land that, then you can just let the Amelia cleanse afterwards and it's usually fine. I take Adventure Harass. Another thing you can do is, you know, if your characters start with immunity, Politis can only strip them if you activate her passive, right? So you can just not do that, and then Solburn Ras his skill 2 on his first turn to give your, you know, unit immunity for 2 turns, and that really mitigates a lot of what makes Politis annoying, because she can't, you know, put hit down and buff block on them. So that's kind of my game plan here. It does mean I have to delay defense buff, but they have a Charlotte, so might not want to AoE into her right away, do we? Okay, they take Millum in response to the Landy there. So we have to deal with Charlotte or Millum. I guess SSB's okay. Rem is also okay. I think they're both fine here. Since the opponent has Hand Guy, he'll have immunity, and that makes SSB a little less good because she can't land the defense breaks. Rem can also strip. Oh, maybe I could have taken Shu. Is this a Shu game? Is any game a Shu game? I'm not sure. Yeah, I think Rem is fine. You know, because she can counterattack and strip away the buffs or decrease the, you know, the turn duration on them. She gets banded anyway, so it didn't really matter. Alright, well, we have to deal with Charlotte. So the game plan there, I guess, is to blow her up with Stenny.
I will guide you through the light.
Alright, do I want anti-crit? It is a little tempting, just to help mitigate damage. I guess I go for the boost.
Don't worry. Get ready.
I don't think that was the play. I'm not sure why I boosted there.
You are unwelcome in my city.
Potentially, one thought is I have souls from Stenny, so maybe I was like, oh, okay, I can boost, and then we can soul burn the skill 3 to get back around to the cleanse again to get rid of the debuffs. That's an option. It also kind of maximizes healing output early on.
I will write new rules. I'll protect you.
So I'm debating here if I want to skill 3 with Adventure Ross. It would put defense buff on my Spectre, and I think she's going to be the carry this game. So I want to make sure she lives. I guess I'm just sacrificing my Landy here.
Leave it to me.
This only worked though because Politis didn't strip Spectre, so that was kind of RNG. Yeah, I don't think I should have used Diane's skill, or if I did anything, I probably should have skill 3. I think it would have been better just to pass on DN and then Soulburn Ras probably or something. Alright, we're just going into Politis. Could have burned and killed her, but then that cycles me out of defense buff, which is awkward. Because we want that for this hit at least, right?
I'm sensing corrupt energy.
Yeah, this doesn't look great though, because Landy is just dying. He goes into Landy.
I believe this is what the goddess wills.
Okay, yeah, so I guess that was my plan. I was like, okay, I'm gonna cycle DN.
Death is your repentance.
If I must fight, this won't be an easy fight.
Try harder.
Okay, Politis down. But this empowers a Ravi, and our Landy is a sitting duck, so I think Politis will be back shortly.
Step back, flies. I will open the doors to hell.
The situation is critical. Let's advance together. Please, save us. The children will help.
This activates Politis again.
Not bad. I'm waiting.
Aras and DN though is such a powerful combo. She generates so many souls, and it lets you just abuse the soul burn, you know, skill 2 of Aras. He crits Spectre, so that's really spooky because now Spectre has heal block, so she won't be able to top herself back up with lifesteal. Let's see. I think, oh yeah, I'm in a panic here. I just have to kill this Charlotte basically, right? Or I die. So we get it. That was lucky. I got very good RNG this game. I don't think I played this one super well. I think in hindsight, I should have not pressed buttons and then tried to kill the Politis and then buff up with DN. Okay, well, that's game.
How about...
So let's see, we're pick 2. We're playing against Shirian, who I've run into a fair number of times on the ladder, and I know he builds his things very tanky. Many of them are on counter set, which is kind of annoying. It's hard to burst stuff down. So I think, I ban out Sirmia here, because he doesn't seem to play Conquer Lilius and he leaves it open, and having Sirmia as an option is, you know, better for him. And he's one of the players that bans Hwayoung and Spectre, which is really annoying for my playstyle because I feel like I really need those heroes to be able to break through tanky teams. So it's kind of a struggle when you don't have them. I think I actually ended up reworking my account around a little bit after some of these games because I realized I was lacking damage for this type of matchup. Like my Strays was on kind of like spare random gear, so I wasn't picking him. And I feel like Strays would be good in these matchups. You kind of need specific units to burst through these, you know, like really thick tank players, and Strays works pretty well for that. So that was a unit that I drafted later on, I think, a couple times, and he seemed to work okay. You do have to build him kind of fast, though. Like, he needs to be like 255-ish, 260 almost, because you really want to outspeed hand guys. You don't want them to take the turn and, you know, attack down him or attack up their team or whatever. Yeah, Politis is annoying. Honestly, I should take Ran here or something. Like Ran Caesarea. Instead I take Amelia Landy. I think this is a mistake. He leaves Ran open here. I should have just done that. Because I've drafted myself into a corner here because I drafted Amelia like into Politis. I don't think it was good. Now he has a Milim that I can't deal with at all. And Alencia pops Landy out of stealth, so I just straight up lose the draft on this one. This was not a good draft from me. I don't think it really matters what I pick here. I think I take Ravi. I was like, that's a fire bruiser that could maybe kill someone on his team. And then do I ban mitigation? I think mitigation or Politis, and then we just hope a Ravi can solo. Yeah. Also awkward because my Landy's a little slower now, so she can't really bridge. Who do we kill? Or who do we try to kill? Oh, I just rip it. I guess I'm assuming here I can just cleanse with Amelia. Okay, Lilius gets stunned. Unfortunate. Oh, yeah. So now Politis didn't cut. That's really bad. I was hoping Politis would cut. I should have checked the CR bar before I did that. I'm used to Politis cutting. Now I just have to like run it. Honestly, I think the play here is to skill 3 like Politis or Milim and just pray.
Enjoy the pain. It'll be the last
Okay, we miss. Not good. We probably didn't even kill the crit. Looks like a tanky Milim.
With my authority as mediator, I will right what is wrong.
You do not understand.
Yeah, I think my problem when I would play these types of players is I wouldn't go aggressive enough, and I would kind of let them take advantage, you know, of their bulky units.
Requesting approval. And granted.
You know, like here, I probably could have done Ran, APOC, and then done a Caesarea draft.
Show your elders some respect. Lowly creature.
I'm sensing corrupt energy.
Yeah, this one is super over.
I'll make you taste despair. Focus.
Stop bugging me. Annoying burden must be crushed.
I'll take your life.
暇つぶしくらいにはなるか？私の力見せつけてやろう！
I never fight a losing battle. Let me guide you onto the right path.
Get ready.
Alright, so the opponent bans Celis and Belly and first picks Ran. So this is an official Wee-Woo situation, you're getting cleaved. And when you're getting cleaved, you pick Apoc Robbie. And then you take Troublemaker Crozet.
Come on. Let's
Fallen CC can be good, but you kind of have to wait to pick her. If you take her too early, you get
You
Opsigged,
aren't even fit to
and you may
kiss
not be in a
my
position to ban it later in the draft. So they take Hwyong and Stenny. So I think they're trying to flex into that
Is it my time to shine?
that cleave with like where they do Ranhua, Hangai Stenny thing. I think we take Delibet here. She's still good. It prevents Ran from pressing buttons turn 1. And we take FCC, and this was, I think FCC's good here. The problem I ran into when people would take Apoc first and threaten the Ran cleave, and then I would respond with Ran Hwyong to like deny the Ran to them. Some of the players were just taking Delibet FCC, and I was like, what do I do? Like, I can't break through this. I don't have the damage, it felt like.
There's no reason to hold back.
And I think we have to ban Celine. Yeah, I think we ban Celine. He bans Ball. So if this is Silver Rain, I guess he can attack buff Opsig, but if it's not, then we're okay. See, I put Delibet in the back. I think that's probably okay, since I don't think that Opsig can kill my Apoc because of proof. So I think we want to protect Oh no, I guess I'd put Apoc in the back. Alright. I was like, if Delibet dies, we're just going to res her.
Alright. Show me what you can do. Shall I get serious now? How should we do this?
And yeah, this was the thing that frustrated me about these drafts with Fallen Cecilia. It felt like if you use Ran, then you're getting rid of the shields, and Opsig can't really do her thing. You know, because oftentimes they'd have Delibet and she would cleanse away the defense breaks. Oh, he RNL'd. That's really scary. That's how you lose, by the way, is they skill through you and then just S1 into your defense break. Very painful.
I won't lose to someone like you.
Yeah, I don't think RNL is super consistent. He goes into Trozet, but he can't kill because we have the Fallen Cecilia Aureus effect, right? He goes into Delibet. This does kill. So maybe Delibet in the back was the play.
Initiating protocol.
Now he's going to push back.
Beginning extermination.
But we can break Opsig out with I guess we can just boost APOC and then skill 3 Ran, right?
enact my own justice.
And then that gets back to Xander Lilibet,
I'll take your
who
life.
can then skill 3 and then we can FCC skill 3. Yeah.
Your dead comrade.
It's going to be pretty hard for him to kill APOC with anti-crit and death buff.
You interrupt my
And I think we do this to,
You can just
yeah, get the Opsig out of stealth, potentially kill. Oh, no. Oh, but Stenny's squishy.
I won't back down. To take, to break, and to destroy. That is a survival.
Okay, we killed a Stenny. That's nice. Opsig does get another turn, but I don't think it matters because she's already used her skills. Dilibet cuts, which is super nice, so we land the Opsig kill.
One seems a good match.
And yeah, there's no way Hwa-Young solos this. Cool. Alright, I'll be back next time.
The genius responsible for the world's top model after.
Who let